Okay, I would like to call this meeting of the Comisión Elección Guam Election Commission to order. It is Thursday, March 20th. It is 5:05 p.m. We are located here at the Somanak Ballroom at the Western Resort in Tumon, Guam. We are also live streamed on the GEC website at gec.guam.gov/board. Certification of quorum, commissioners present are myself, Jerry Crisostomo, Chairman, Commissioner Joe Mapnas, Vice Chair, Commissioner Ricky Orsini, Commissioner Tony Gamatauta, Commissioner Benny Penala. Excuse absence is Commissioner Joe Meno and Commissioner Pat Seville. Approval of agenda. I just want to make a couple of changes on this and table item 4, which is the election of chairman and vice chairman. As you know, every year we elect a new chair and a new vice chair. Since Commissioner Joe Meno and Pat Seville are not able to join us, I'd like to have all the commissioners present for that. If there's any objection, we'll table that to the next meeting. And then on item 8, under old business, item A, the general election administrative complaint of the Hagåtña voter registration. I'd like to table that since the complainant, I guess, is not able to join us for this meeting, and we'll table that to the next month's meeting. And then item C, the executive director's performance evaluation. We'll also hold off until the next meeting when all the commissioners are present. Any objections to that? Okay. So I need approval of the agenda then as amended.
Mr. Chairman, so moved.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Penala. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Commissioner Orsini. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, moving on to the approval of minutes. I understand the minutes also will be tabled until the next month's meeting. Correspondences, Maria?
Mr. Chairman, we received an invitation to provide testimony on the GEC bills that are listed below under old business. We can look at the testimony when we look at the old business. On March 10th, we also received a memo from Public Auditor Benjamin Cruz that the citizen-centric report for fiscal year 23 is due April 10th. Again, we will look at it for your approval under new business.
Okay. Moving on then to the executive director's report. Maria, you want to go ahead and introduce
our
guest?
timeline starts on page 10. Our monthly voter by precinct is on page 16. Mr. Chairman, if you notice, the monthly voter by precinct report is February, which is what we reported last month at the last month's meeting. Our March report is not due until after the 25th, March 25th. The 25th of each month is the cutoff. So we will give you the March report at the next month's meeting. With regard to the online motor voter registration and pre-registration, that's on page 17. Again, that's the February report. As far as motor voter, if I would just want to say that for motor voter, for February, as of February 25th, for the month of February, we had 305 adds, new registrants, 63 transfers, district transfers, and 397 updates. 2,155 motor voter registrations were processed up to February 25th.
Okay, any questions from the commissioners? Okay, the item D, monthly financial report.
So our financial reports are on page 18. We have reports on our local appropriations as well as the security grant. So it looks like if you look at page 18 and page 19, we show you the expenditures from February 14th to March 17th. Our expenditures totaled $37,533. With regard to the the security grant, the balance is showing on page 19. Including interest, we have $502,000 in the bank.
Okay, any questions, comments? Okay, item E, Office of the Inspector General.
I reported, I think this is an oversight on our part, I reported that the audit had been closed, and it appears on the U.S. Election Assistance Commission website. Fortunately for us, our acting Inspector General is visiting, and I was able to talk with her about about our audit a little bit, but yes, so this was closed. We shouldn't have had it on the agenda this month, sir.
Okay, moving on to item F, the 2024 financial disclosure statements. Okay.
So we had sent out 2 reminders. They're due April 22nd, so there's a report on page 21 with those that have filed so far. Our public officials have been requesting also no extensions. So if you look on page 27, so far, those that have filed full FDS, there's 7, and 3 have requested for extension. And the due date is April 22nd.
And the total required to file is about almost 394, right?
Yeah, sir, that includes the boards and commissions.
Okay, any questions, comments? Okay, any further executive director's item, or do you want to move on to old business?
Okay.
Start with the Campaign Finance Committee.
So the Campaign Finance Committee met twice, and so we'd like to ask the full board if April 14th at 12 o'clock p.m., if you're available for a work session, including our legal counsel.
12 p.m.?
12 p.m. And we're looking at about 2 hours, April 14th at 12 p.m. This would have to be noticed, so because the full board will be meeting, what we're going to do is present draft resolutions for the board to consider, and hopefully we'll be able to bring it to the next meeting for action. So,
Okay. Any questions?
yeah. Are we
No,
good with April 14th?
April 14th is, what day is that? Monday, right?
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah. Okay,
Legal
12 noon
counsel?
at the commission office.
Commissioner Benny, are you going to be off island?
I might still be here.
Okay. Legal counsel? He's still checking.
Tax day's the next week. Following day.
You should have finished already.
So it's not my taxes.
So what? Are you okay, April 14th? 12,
12 noon to at least 2 hours, right?
at least 2 hours, or maximum 2 hours.
I have a standing meeting every Monday.
2?
1 is
1?
okay.
Okay.
I can try to keep it short.
Benny, 1
o'clock?
is okay?
1 p.m.?
Ricky?
The tax day. I don't file until 5 o'clock
Same thing.
Tuesday.
Do that at 5 o'clock. What time? 12?
1, we're trying for
1
1
o'clock on
now.
Monday if we can, otherwise
The day before
Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Commissioner Pat is going to be off island, so, and he's part. Man, thank you. At the office, yeah.
At the election center.
So 1
Okay,
o'clock?
so- Yeah. Okay, let's move on to item D, the election manual update committee.
A presentation of a draft was done at the second subcommittee meeting. And so Tom will have for us a revisions with all to incorporate the subcommittee's changes. So we can do that at the next meeting.
Okay. Moving on to the administrative and voting survey.
So we received correspondence yesterday, I believe, that now they've sent us the final for GEC to review. So we will review the final, and if there's no mistakes, we just send it to them. We've gone through that process maybe a couple times already, which is standard. And so we're in the process of reviewing the final.
Okay, any questions? Our FY '26 budget request, what's the status of that?
We haven't heard about any public hearings yet. So we don't, in the past, there was no public hearing for GEC. So we don't know what's going to happen this budget cycle. But we haven't heard anything about a public hearing for GEC.
Okay. Okay, item G, the standard board meeting. I guess you want to go ahead and make introductions, yes.
I guess from my point of view, we had a very, and maybe it's biased, but we had a very successful meeting. And we had many takeaways. But at this time, I'd like to humbly introduce to you the people that attended the meeting. So we had all all five regions here, American Samoa, U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, CNMI, and of course, and Guam. And we sat at the round table yesterday and today. And I don't know if Commissioner Christie and Commissioner Ben would want to say a couple things about, maybe their point of view is more important than mine. But we'll start Roy will take the mic around to introduce them.
Hi, I'm Christy McCormick. I'm a commissioner with the U.S. Election Assistance Commission. I want to thank you for hosting this meeting. It was a very informative meeting for us, a first to have all the territories together. This was the first time we've had this subcommittee meeting of our standards board. If you don't know about our standards board, we have two members from every state and territory. So it's a very large body, and we've now broken that down into regions, and the territories are one region. And we are so thrilled that all of the territory members came to Guam, and Maria and Kayla from CNI both of their teams did a fantastic job planning for this meeting, and we have a lot of takeaways. We learned a lot about the challenges of running elections in the territories. You all do things a little bit different, but you all have a lot of things in common as well. So I won't hog the mic in the time. I know there's a lot of people to talk, but thank you so much. It's an honor to be here.
Hi, I'm Commissioner Ben Hovland with the Election Assistance Commission, and it's great to be here, and I'll echo the sentiments and comments of my colleague, Commissioner McCormick, and just really add I think one of the things that is really the Help America Vote Act in creating our standards board gave us 2 representatives from every state and territory across the country. It was passed before CNMI's status had changed, so they were excluded or not included, I guess. And so one of the exciting 2 things that I would really highlight about why we created the regional structure. One, I think that when you look across the country, even though each state and territory runs elections a little differently, there's a lot in common, and there's even more in common oftentimes regionally. We'll see parts of the country where there's a lot of vote by mail, or parts of the country with a lot of same-day registration. And similarly, I think the territories offered a very unique opportunity to compare and contrast and share. And I think it's also great that we're able to utilize this structure to include the Northern Marianas. And so, again, as my colleague said, I thought that the meeting was very productive. I hope it is the first of many more conversations. I think we got useful perspective. I think we got useful information for the agency in how we can think about various products or offerings or trainings that we have going forward. And again, I look forward to building from this conversation and fostering more community in the broader territory election community, but also utilizing that to share out at the full standards board meeting and to help election officials from around the country understand some of the unique challenges that the territories face. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Caroline Fox. I'm the supervisor of the U.S. Virgin Islands. I came from the furthest, over 34 hours of flying here. And this is my second time to Guam. So the networking, the conference for the last 2 days has been a success. Again, the territory is always left out. And so we're glad that this historic event happened, and it happened in Guam, because I think she's been the supervisor the longest. I thank the commissioner. The vice chair was my host last night. The fiesta was good because you can't work. You have to get to see the island and enjoy the culture, the people, and spend money on the souvenirs. And so this conference afforded us all that opportunity. So we thank you and we thank the host.
Hi, I'm Summer Hirschfield. I'm a senior grant specialist at EAC, and I manage the HAVA grants for Guam and some of the territories, and I'm really happy to be here. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Dreher and I'm the Acting Inspector General for the EAC. It's been great to come out here and meet with everyone, especially Maria.
I'm Heather Ford, Special Counsel with the EAC, and it's been a fabulous trip, and I cannot thank our host enough.
Today, I would like to speak in our native tongue, if you guys don't mind. Nono si use kiyoshi ginin sinamay. Zao na ba yung dongklo na si Jus Mosi no Mr. Chairman. Then yung members ni todo tempo ni in bababa ikanay medyo ni corazon medyo para hami ni Toto Marianas. Undang ko na si Jus Mosi para tau-tau mo executive no i-director as no Maria Pangilinan. Ni todo tempo no insede ni para ubaba petan mizo za kumutigwiza benti manaiga mi gini pagon na momento sa guning gwiza muna pandanya pago magan medium 6 za kumutigwiza tamana talo je para besangan na manaigi no Marianas za benti and hopefully na istigin na tutuhon sinyahirin dia man un Mariana sun corazon dan ungonaija si Jus Mosi.
Good afternoon, Ben Taiskan from the CNMI Election Commission. I am the outreach coordinator. I want to give a huge thank you also to Maria and her team They've been very good at hosting, and especially everyone in attendance during the 2 days meeting, as we've learned a lot from each other. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kim Smith. I'm a senior election subject matter expert with the U.S. Election Assistance Commission, and I also serve as the alternate designated federal officer for the Standards Board. This has been great being here in Guam. I'm so excited, and I'm glad for Maria that we finally got to have a meeting in her time zone for once. So thank you all.
Hi, I'm Kristen Lee, also with the Election Assistance Commission. Just really excited and honored to be here and learn from all of you and meet everybody in person. And just huge thank you to Maria and Anna and the rest of the GEC team.
Talofa, my name is Tavai Fiti Tavai, and I'm the Deputy Commissioner of Election from American Samoa. This is my first time here in Guam, and I thank you, Maria and the EAC, for having this meeting. I learned a lot from this meeting now, get to share ideas and get to know each other, the process of election from each territory. And I hope to continue on with this meeting in the future. Thank you.
Ali. My name is Sharwin Yamauchi. I'm the Executive Director for Palau Elections Commissions. I would like to thank Maria and Team Guam for inviting me here as an observer. And I'd like to say, I wish I didn't come because Maria put the bar very high, so now I'm already struggling now. But thank you, Team Guam.
Mr. Chairman, I must say that without the guys in the back, it wouldn't have been good.
Okay, thank you. Well, we want to, of course, give you a warm Hafa welcome to Guam. Thanks for visiting us. As our tourism numbers are struggling, you just added to that. So thank you. Go ahead and continue your, sorry.
Mr. Chair, H, I, J, and K are the bills that were introduced, and the public hearing was held. Bill 5238, Senator Tello withdrew that bill, and the GEC will work on it to send her as substitute. 53, 54, and 55. The testimony starts on page 31. I think you've seen it, the commissioners have seen them. The legislative session starts next week. So we'll listen carefully and see where they go with that. We don't know if they're going to call a committee at the whole as they discuss but we'll be ready if they do.
Okay. I know on 5238, I think that was pulled back to be revisited based on the testimony that we submitted. But it could have gone forward and then make the amendments there, but we'll follow her lead on it. Any questions from yes, Commissioner Singh?
Maria, so 53, 54, 55, they were added to the session agenda?
I believe so. The committee report was finished. And I don't think the session agenda, I'm not so sure if the session agenda is out yet, but I'll check on it, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I have another question. And so we would be meeting and reviewing the draft or the revised bill regarding motor voter before it's sent to the senator, right?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
Okay. Any further questions? Okay, you want to move then? Any other old business? Move to new business? The precinct realignment?
Yeah. Mr. Chair, want to do the precinct realignment maybe after the March report, and then we can take a look at it. So we'll just do it in at the April meeting.
Okay, just for public information, you want to just kind of explain the precinct realignment so the public is informed as to what we're realigning?
Sizus Masi. So right now we have 72 precincts. So before every election cycle, we look at the number of precincts and the number of registered voters per precinct. And the commission can choose based on the numbers, to either increase or decrease the number of precincts. At this time, one main component of precinct realignment decision is that we have early voting now. So on election day, there won't be long lines because of early voting. And one item that we want to look at is whether we want to increase the number of voters per precinct. And that would require legislation. So that's something that we wanted to address sooner than later.
Okay. Any further questions on that? Item B, Bill 2538.
Mr. Chair, this was brought up at the last meeting about whether the GEC wanted to provide testimony on notice of public notice requirements of public meetings. And so this is up for discussion among the board.
Okay. Yes, Commissioner Singh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it would be prudent for us to submit as an agency. We are one of the smallest agencies in the government of Guam, yet we're required to publish so many notices. You know, we meet regularly, but also there are certain things we're also required to publish in the newspaper that costs us hundreds. I think, how much does it cost, Maria, again?
$1,500 for every notice, public notice now, for the agendas. And 2 notices each meeting.
How much in total?
So it'd be 1,500 times 12 minimum.
Yeah. So I think in our testimony, we should underscore how much our small agency spends. And, you know, given the reality today where we only have one printed newspaper and everybody goes online for their information, we should also, you know, underscore that. And then I'm open to any other suggestions others may have to include.
Yeah, so this bill doesn't, I mean, it just adds to the electronic, that you can advertise electronically besides the paper, right? I mean, it doesn't take anything away from the current notifications requirement.
So I believe this bill expands the definition of media platform. And
to include the electronic means.
Yes. So we wouldn't be tied to printed.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions or comments? This hasn't been scheduled yet, or has it?
I think it's for this session, no?
Yeah.
Yes, it already had a hearing, Mr. Chair, and so, but they were still receiving testimony, even as of today, I believe.
Did we submit testimony on this one?
No, and that's why we put it on the agenda, because we needed direction from the board about what direction we go with the testimony.
Okay. I mean, we were invited to submit testimony, right? No?
No, we weren't.
I think this is not a new bill. I mean, this came up previously.
This is the second time that it's been submitted, yeah.
Okay. And did we submit testimony back then?
No, sir, and again, we were not invited to a submit testimony. And at that time, I think we had talked about it at a meeting, yeah.
Okay, I mean, any, Commissioner Penali, you want to add your comments to that?
Chairman, I would just add that, you know, I'm in support of this new expansion into new media, in addition to the other forms of advising the public. I also like the fact that it gives us the flexibility to choose between either a print or going online. I think this is a plus for our agency. I think that we can be able to save some of that money if we need to, and direct those resources to other more important issues within the agency. So I'm in full support, and I encourage the agency to submit testimony as such.
Okay. Are you, yeah. Any other comments on that?
So then I will draft up the testimony
Right.
and share it with you, with legal
With
counsel.
legal, yeah. Okay. Let's go to the fiscal 2023 citizen-centric report.
Tom's not here. He's on vacation, but before he left, he submitted a draft of the citizen-centric report starting on page 42. It's due on April 10th, so if the commission would give us an approval and I can make technical corrections with the approval, it needs to be turned in by April 10th. Well, starting on page 42.
Page 42?
Huh.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and please remember that this was fiscal year 23.
Yeah, 23, I was going to say.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to add on page 43, based on our performance, if we could put an additional footnote in there. I think we need to explain a little bit more about our low voter turnout as a result of the motor voter registration. Because when you look at this report, it shows a very dismal number, and I think we need to explain that a little bit within the footnotes, if we could just add something in there. Because this is, I think it's important for people to understand that if you had taken this out, we would have actually a really huge voter turnout.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Commissioner.
Maria, in echoing Commissioner Benny, I know this is for 2023, correct? Yes, I just want to feel the difference between the 24 turnout election and the 20 election. Do you have that figure? Which is higher, the 20 or 24?
24 is lower.
Lower, right?
Oh, good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's trending. It's been trending downward. So,
thank you.
Just an additional footnote on there. I think that would be good.
when you're talking about the motor voter
Yeah.
registration and the turnout for that. I mean, I don't know if we have anything specific, but yeah, the footnote could maybe explain.
Well, we could do that, or I know that Tom had, the previous graph, he had actually graphed out the motor voter registration and the number of people that actually voted. So we could do either or we can include both.
Yeah.
There's enough room to do two
Okay.
Yeah.
graphs, and we can do it with that. Yeah.
Yeah, you can do a footnote, or you can do the footnote
Another
and the
graph.
graph.
Yeah.
That way it's a clearer picture on our
Right.
performance, because if you're just taking, the low voter turnout, it really doesn't give a clear picture of all the work that the Guam Election Commission has performed.
Yeah, because you have, high registration but a low turnout, which is the complete opposite of high registration should result in a higher turnout.
That's the only thing I would add to the report.
Okay. Any other questions or changes to the centric report? If not, I guess you want a motion subject to the additional footnote. So is there a motion to accept the centric FY23 centric report?
So move, Mr. Chairman, subject to changes.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Pinala to accept the centric FY23, subject to the change. Second by Commissioner Gumatauta. Any further discussions? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Oppose? Okay, you have that. Done. Let's move on to legal.
Mr. Chair,
Oh, yes.
before we move into the legal counsel report, I'd just like to clear my airways here. Maria, for the 2024 election, do we still have an outstanding balance to other vendors, or are we all up to date on that?
We're up to date. We just need to reconcile what our vendor with regard to their billing and how much against their contract, but nothing, everything else has been paid, sir. Maybe, I think DOE, Department of Education, we haven't paid yet, because they haven't sent us an invoice. I haven't seen that yet.
But we don't know what's the total amount, right?
I believe Helen has it's probably a lower amount than than 2022, because we didn't use FBLG, but it's like $8,000, I believe, total to DOE.
Since the only one that's outstanding, have you been making contact with them so that we can? I'm just saying that we need to clear this before we start our new election in 2026.
Mr. Vice Chair, typically they're the last one to submit the invoice, and yes, Helen has been diligent in contacting them. She deals with a couple of people at Department of Education.
Okay.
Thank you.
Keep us in touch. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, any further questions? Legal counsel?
Hi, Mr. Chair. There's nothing to report on the outstanding case. It's still status quo at this point.
Okay. I think I failed in the beginning to, when I introduced the commissioners, to introduce the executive director, Maria Pangilinan, is present, and also Vince Camacho, our legal counsel, is present. Okay, moving on to public comments. Are there any comments from the general public? Okay, seeing none. Next meeting, April
16th, and it's a Wednesday. And the reason it's a Wednesday is because April 17th is Holy Thursday. Remember?
Okay, so next meeting will be Wednesday, April 16th at 5:30 at the Guam Election Commission office. Okay, seeing no further business, to entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Mr. Chairman, move to adjourn.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Pinala, is there a second? By Commissioner Orsini. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Okay, this meeting is adjourned until April 16th. It is 5:44 p.m. Thank you.